Hi guys, welcome to the channel. This is Aquascaping on the Fly, Living Art Creations. I'm Anthony, your host and your content creator. So we're going to do things a little differently. I haven't posted a video with me in it for, I know now, about a month. Those of you who have been watching the channel from the beginning, and by the beginning I mean less than 6 months now, you may have noticed that I've updated the bio on the channel and I've changed the theme of the channel a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and come clean. I have been going through what I would call a spiritual reawakening. It is no accident that I became obsessed with aquascaping. It's no accident that I felt compelled to start this channel when I had no knowledge about the hobby. I felt basically like there was something pushing me to do it, but I didn't understand what it was. And I have been receiving messages from my higher power, which I'm going to call Spirit, that have been guiding me through my journey of now coming to terms with what my spirituality really means and more of my focus in my life. This channel is something that gives me 1,000% pleasure. I mean, I'm obsessed with doing this hobby and this channel. To me, my builds are just not builds. I'm not putting together a tank just to put together a tank and throw a bunch of stuff in it and see what works and what doesn't work. You guys know from all my videos that I start out in a nature walk. And when I'm in my nature walks, when I find something, I usually can see exactly what I want to do with it. And I get an inspiration. So my inspiration, I know, is from the divine. And whether you want to call that Mother Nature or Spirit or God or however you want to define it, that is up to you. I just know that I have spirit guides that are guiding me through this process. And they're giving me things that will challenge me, which is quite exciting for me. So I love this hobby because it could be just anything you want to make it. And it's challenging at the same time that it is so beautiful. I mean, what else can you do where you can build a living microorganism inside your home or office or apartment or wherever, and it brings you so much fulfillment and challenges at the same time that never, it always keeps you guessing on what's going to happen next. So when I feel compelled and when I say spirit, I hope it doesn't make anyone uncomfortable. If it does, there's plenty of other channels out there that are going to cover the same information I cover. If you're more comfortable with that, I'm fine with that. My goal is to get my message out there and live in the light. And by living in the light, I know that I have a purpose, and my purpose is to give information to the public that may help them. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. You guys know that I've added a section on the channel that's just about spirituality. And when I see something that touches my heart, and I think this would help other people, I've thrown together little tiny 36 or 1 minute videos to put out there, because sometimes those messages will meet someone in their time of need and give them inspiration. So that's my overall goal for the channel, is to inspire. Inspire you no matter where you are in life, no matter what your budget is. You can enjoy this hobby just like the big channels do, to where that they'll use maybe $1,000, $1,500, $1,800 to put together a build. But with me, you're going to look at, I think the builds I've got now going for Trinity are at $115, and that's zero up to everything included. We're about to add shrimps, or about to go another $30. So now they're going to go up to around $150 build for those tanks. So I hope you're as excited about this as I am. I hope that when you see this video, it is probably intentionally, because the YouTube algorithm is still not getting me anywhere near close to the population that I thought would need to see this. But the people that are seeing it for a reason, because your feedback, and that's something I really want to thank you guys about. Your feedback is amazing. I have some of the best conversations with someone who will send me just one little comment, and we can just expand on it from right there and learn so much from each other. So if you ever have any questions or comments like that, I've opened up the channel to answer your questions. You can always send me, because I'm on Blue Sky, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook. So you can always contact me through the channel, especially if you have any questions about what you're hesitant about doing with the hobby, like how to get started or what's a realistic budget and the steps you would do. I would always just say, focus on what your goal is and try to stay as true as you can to your original intent. Now, all the mushy stuff out of the way. For those of you that might be like, oh, he's getting a little too crazy out there. I'm going to tell you that I have run across other people recently, as of today, making this video. I just got off of a trip. Right now, I just put my uniform up, and I met someone who's also undergoing a major spiritual transformation. I've got another person in my life that's an acquaintance that's undergoing a major spiritual transformation. So at the time of this filming, it may have something to do with the fact that we're going into a very rare moon here in June on tomorrow, which will be I think the 11th. So it may be coinciding with that, because I'm just getting people that I'm running across to in my job or in the public that are sharing things with me about spirituality. Those of you who saw the video with me with the little Buddha statue, I had been looking for a Buddha statue. When I found the Buddha statue, it was sitting at a dumpster. I bend over to take a photo of it. A woman pulls up and she's like, oh my God, I was coming back to get that. And I explained to her the whole story about how I had been focused on a Buddha statue, but it had to be the right color. And I told her about this new awakening with spirituality. She's right there with me. She's like, oh my God, the world needs more of that. And I'm like, you're right. We are in an upside down world right now, especially if you're in the United States. And you need something concrete to hold on to that keeps you sane. This hobby definitely can do that, because I receive my energy from Mother Nature. And when I'm out in Mother Nature, that's my most zen-like whatsoever. No matter where I am out there, no matter if it's hot, whatever, I am always in awe of what Mother Nature can provide. So, that being said, something super exciting has happened. So while I was before I went on this trip, by the way, this was a 3-day trip, I had placed orders online for some different types of shrimp. So those of you who have been sending comments to me about, oh, it's time to add livestock, I was really kind of hesitant about putting livestock in because I was really kind of scared. And I thought, okay, we're going to do it one step at a time, and we're going to start with our cleanup crew. So we're going to start with our shrimp. So I had placed an order for the Tree of Life, which is my irigumi styled or influenced aquascape, where it's just the bare tree with a little bit of plantings in it. It has been covered in biofilm for more than 2 weeks now. It's excessive. Now, I can't clean the biofilm in that tank because the Tree of Life is too big. It's honestly too big. It's too crowded. When I designed it, I wanted it like that. I didn't give a thought to cleaning it, honestly, just never did. So it's overgrown with biofilm. And it's perfect that one shrimp order that are almost the clear just came in right as they delivered it right before I pulled up and got inside here and saw that the shrimp are actually here now. And it's going to go into the Tree of Life. So we're going to go through the process of what it's going to be like if you order something online. Now, I did mine online because I want specific colors. I do not want the mix that you see in a lot of tanks. I want to keep my colors separate so that if I want to put them in another smaller build later on, I have that color to follow through with. Because I plan on doing a series called the Rainbow, and it's going to be 5 or 6 bowls, but a little smaller, and each one's going to be a different rainbow color, and that means the livestock that's going to go in it and whatever plants that may be appropriate to put in there. And I'm teetering about how I'm going to display it because I am almost running out of room here in the studio. And that's another thing I've been sent messages about that I should be moving, but I don't know how that's going to happen yet. But I'm just telling you, that's one of the messages I've received. and part of all the other messages I'm getting. And those of you who are not spiritual, it doesn't mean you have to be. But I will tell you that since I've been receiving some information, the spirits are quite funny. They've sent me messages that are hysterical. They started sending me music lyrics as part of a text that when I pulled out what the lyric was and then read it, it was 1,000% relevant to either something I said in meditation about clarification or something they're trying to tell me. When the first message came through that I got successfully, and I was able to tell them, okay, I get it, I understand what you're saying, blah, 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 blah. Immediately in my head, the song Ain't No Stopping Us Now just kept playing over and over and over. Not the whole song. Ain't no stopping us now, blah, 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 blah. And I just started laughing because that's them telling me, oh no, we're not holding back now. We're forging ahead. Whether you're ready or not, we're just going to forge ahead. So that's the way it's kind of been with me, like at least the last month. And what I love about this is I can also use that skill at work because I am very intuitive and I know what passengers I can, have fun with and play with, make fun of, and alleviate any tensions they have in flying and the ones I need to leave alone. And I've been using that ever since I've been a flight attendant. So it works very well for me. So I'm going to do what I normally do, which is finally get off camera. And we're going to start with a really good detailed look at the tank itself. I want you to see how heavy the biofilm is in there. Now, we know the biofilm is normal. We know we could leave it and it will die out on its own. But since I've got the shrimp, I'm ready to see, and we can kind of document how they will react in there with the biofilm and how fast they'll go after it. Now, the one thing I did do when I was doing the research about shrimp, I was astounded at the number of shrimp you can put in a tank per gallon. It was a really large number. I remember what it is top of my head, but it was like, oh my God, I could have 50 shrimp in there. I'm like, oh, there's no way I want that much shrimp. So I ordered a 20 set. And in my 10-gallon tanks, I ordered a 10 set so that I could just start and we'll see. That way, they've got plenty of room to grow. They want to breed and grow. We've got plenty of room in there for them to do that. Because I do want to add some fish, some smaller fish that are going to be color specific for what the tank is that we're building. So the Trinity series, because I went with the black background after I had started the tank, those tanks are kind of dark to me right now versus the Tree of Life. Because the Tree of Life has a gravel base that's multicolors. The Trinity tanks have the aqua soil, which is black. The background is black. They're hardscape heavy, which is kind of blackish. So to me, they're way, way, way too dark now. So I was going for color in those tanks, but I'm using the translucent ones, the ghost shrimp, in the Tree of Life because it's a much lighter tank. So that's going to be the reasoning when I put out the subsequent videos, because another a set of shrimp is arriving tomorrow, and then the day after that, and then the day after that, one for each one of the tanks. So I'll be putting out videos all in a row of us dealing with the shrimp that's coming out. So let me get it set up to where you can get a good look at that, and then we'll do the unboxing and we'll see what the transition period is for the shrimp. So I hope this resonates with somebody out there, a group of you out there. We're going to have fun with this. I can't wait to see. I already love staring at my tanks anyway, and there's nothing in there but plants and the wave action. And I did do research when I bought the little wave things for each tank that shrimp do like the wave action. It's something that's normal to them. So I was like, okay, cool. And already in my head is another tank I want to do. So if you guys remember shark fin, he has now been renamed Blackfish. Blackfish now has plants attached to it. And I just got delivered from PetSmart another 20-gallon long tank that's the same size as the Tree of Life. So it's going to be balanced next to it. And those of you who are contemplating the difference between Petco and PetSmart, right now Petco is running 50% off. They're still more expensive than if you go on PetSmart's website and look online. You need to confirm that the store manager at your location will honor the online price. When I was on this trip, the first night of my trip, I couldn't sleep. And so I logged in and I had an email from PetSmart because I joined their club. And they sent me a 20% off coupon. And I was able to put my 20% off coupon on the sale price already. So the tank that we're looking at today cost me $28 for a 20 gallon, but 20-inch long tank. So that was kind of exciting. No, wait a minute, it's longer than that. I can't remember how long it is, but it's longer than that. But, and they call it the 20 long because it's a 20 gallon. And that's the cheapest you can get anywhere. So I've never been a fan of Petco because I've never really heard anyone successfully get something super, super cheap. If you shop around, you'll find what you need. Just be really careful of the places that, even if they're in the United States, that sell tanks so cheap you know something's up. And it's usually with the shipping. They usually will not be responsible for their own shipping, and there is no refund available if something is damaged. There's post after post after post on Facebook about people that have bought tanks that have been damaged, broken, chipped, whatever, and it's the shipping company that is responsible when you go to one of those really cheap websites. And I'm telling you, I found some in California where they were selling the same kind of tank that I just bought for around $10. And when you look at their reviews, people talk about it. They talk about the fact that the tank will come broken, and when it comes broken, they won't replace it. They won't refund your money. You have to go through the shipping company. And that's just something that we don't need that kind of headache. So do your due diligence when you're shopping around. And on my channel, I tell you everything I buy. I tell you what it costs. And I don't pay a penny more than I have to on anything, especially like when I'm doing plant shopping or anything like that. So the shrimp, I was looking, everything local to me in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex was way more expensive than what I could get online. And I was able to get the colors I wanted specifically. When I was looking at shrimp that was locally, specific colors were quadruple the price you would get for the exact same thing online. So to me, I was risking it. We'll open the package and we'll see what it's like. So thanks for hanging around. Let me get the camera switched around and we'll go from there. Okay, can we say hello, gorgeous? Look at these tanks. The water is crystal clear. I could not ask for anything better. Well, yeah, I could, but I'm not going to. And as you can see on the top shelf, because a lot of people ask about this, I do already have plants growing in there. So we have a Rex begonia, monstera, rattlesnake, prayer plant, pepermonia, a croton, and a pothos that I picked up on layover out in ground in Florida. I mean, literally, I just snapped it off a piece that was growing out of the ground, put it in my bag, came home, and it is growing. Oh my God, I love it because it has great striations in the coloring on the leaves. But as you can see, kind of how I haven't turned all, the lights are on. I don't have the studio lighting on for you. So you can see how, from my point of view, the tanks are a little dark than what I'm used to. So let's just, while we're doing this, there you go. Okay. Oh, and you can see me in the reflection. That's not what you want. You just saw me. So you can see my plants are there, and they're not even attached to anything. They're just hanging out on the lip. So there you have turtle. Turtle is the only one has not had any trouble with any algae, but I think it's because turtle was found in a fire pit. He was charred. So there is no way biofilm would be able to grow off that. And then you have bird, which has historically had some of the worst biofilm for that one stick. I mean, that one little stick has been covered. So, and I did lose one of the can't remember the name of it. The one that's the pink. I lost one of those. Oh, I'm going to go crazy because I can't remember it. But anyway, I'm probably going to have to replant some of those. And here we go. Okay. Now you guys remember, if you're not familiar, Tree of Life breaches the top. And that's intentional. Is it centered? No, because nature's not centered. We don't center things in nature. Nature just grows the way it grows. Now, I'm going to zoom in because I want you to see. They're really slow. See that? You can see how thick that is. You know what that is. That's biofilm. But it's not affecting my boost. By the way, I always liked Boost before. I'm such a huge Boost fan. Oh my God, I love Boost now. This one is Aragon from Lord of the Rings, I think, because it's like the same spelling. So you know there's a Lord of the Rings fan that created this, the name for this Boost. So you can see the foreground is the rocky, which I prefer to the aqua soil. You know another thing I don't like about the aqua soil just by itself? It's too loose and it rolls around, and my dwarf hair grass that I grew out for 3 months is just pitted out, nothing in there now. Okay, so let's zoom in on this side. You can sit there and say, oh my God, he is a magician when it comes to his hardscape. I am gonna go with that 1,000%, because even when I look at this, I am amazed. It does not follow any kind, it's not a true irigumi. I'm going to give you that right now. The stick, though, the tree, because remember, this was a dead shrub that I found in the storm ditch. And I'm going to advocate for, you can go into storm ditches, just be careful. Sometimes homeless people live in the big ones. So you just watch your surroundings. But I took it apart. This tree evolved over 3 different bills because it was going to go in a 10-gallon. And when I finished the first part of it, it was too big to go in a 10-gallon. So I got this 20 long. Well, when I put it in the 20 long, it was too small. So I had to go back in and redo it, and it got bigger. And then it took over wall to wall. You can see where the wave maker is to your right. And you can see how much water is evaporated, because I had these filled up before I left on my trip. And I've just been gone 3 days. Okay, so there is your really cool look. Now, this is the part that I really want you to take a focus on right here. So the tree looks kind of like dead from, if you look at this and you say, oh, well, that tree's dead. No, the tree is being reborn. It's being rebirthed. It's like a phoenix coming from its dead ashes. That's about the best analogy I can give you. And I love the fact that the Boost in there, Boost has such a beautiful coloration in their leaves. I'm just go crazy for it. And then we did the, I just can't remember the pink ones. Oh my God, I can't remember. They're really red, but they look pink to me, more pink. So it's going to be nothing in here but the pink around it. And I'm going to keep working on probably adding more because I do want it to be like a massive pink, and then the green, and then we're going to have our shrimp, which are going to be clear. So I'm going to put you, let's get you set up to where, okay. So there you go. There's our final look. And how much we've got going on as far as the bio bloom. And remember, this is totally normal. Don't freak out. Don't freak out like I did, because I freaked out. So we're going to pause it here. Let me open up the shrimps and see what we got going on. I'm kind of scared to do this on camera. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go ahead, just going to do it on camera. Okay, so the plant that's under the tub, that was from, some really hot city in California that's all deserty, and I picked up what I called some trash plants, like the ones that grow in the curb and everything, and not knowing if they would grow or anything. So I've got them under there, keeping them protected from, the gnats. Since I've added all these tanks in here, I thought I would have less gnats. Oh God, no, they love the water. They do. All right, let me see. I don't want to block your view. Or maybe I do. Oh. This really makes me nervous. Since this is the first livestock. Yeah! Oh, okay. So, they're not in the total tank. They're in a, looks like, oh, wait, hang on. Oh, yes, they are. They're in the bottom part too. They're not just in there. Oh, well, I see 1, 2, supposed to have 20. Oh, there they are. They're swimming around now. Okay. Let's zoom you in so you can see this. Get this out of the way. By the way, there's a bunch of gnats in here because this is a wild terrarium. Let's put you outside for a bit. I see them on the bottom there. You can see them on the bottom because they're clear. So I think it says 15 minutes. Let me get my timer. Let's get this ready. Float the bag in the tank for 15 minutes. Ensure not to exceed this time for breathing fish. Oh, transfer the shrimp to a small container, ensuring to remove any deceased ones. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let's float it first. And this just come off. Okay, you're dead. If I can get that, I don't think that's, well, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to. Okay, it will come off, yes. Oh, yay. Wait a minute. Oh, this bag. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, it's a bag in a bag. Okay, that makes more sense. Oh, that one maybe did. I'm not sure. Okay. Well, let's do what it says. Float the bag. Oh, yep, you can see them moving. Let me set my timer. So I think they can tell they're around. There's water around them because look, they're just going active. Okay, so the one I thought was dead just moved. That's good. Just stubbed my toe. Okay, so these are the ghost shrimp. So they're actually more kind of, I thought they were more clear. They're actually more kind of white, which is amazing. I mean, look, they're really getting animated. They're like, let's get out, let's go exploring. They're like trying to get to the top of, look at that, going to the top of that bag. Child, you are not ready yet. Okay, so I'm gonna let it pause now, so I don't want to have this thing running out just for 15 minutes for that. And at the next stage, I'll turn you back on. Okay, so during the break, I found out I had made a mistake. No surprise there. These are not the ones I thought they were. These are snowballs, and these are the Neocaridina shrimp snowball. And I'm supposed to get 10 of them. Only 8 are in here. They could have eaten 2 of them, but there's no carcass. So these are not going to be going into Tree of Life because there's going to be such a small number. These are meant for prayer hand, turtle in motion, sorry. Turtle in motion. So I've had to reacclimate them to go into this setup. So now I'm going to put them in a net and we'll get them in there. And I have already sent, this company only requires you to send a photo. So I've already got a photo ready and a text for the company to know that, you know, only got 8. And, hey, besides 1, see 1. Okay, for the Snow White, the water was moving way too much. Yes, they can take water movement and they kind of like water movement, but they have to be able to find rest. And the wave makers I have in these small tanks are just too overpowering. So I'm gonna have to get something a lot smaller. Hey guys, Anthony here. Okay, so for me, it's been the next day. The last two orders of shrimp came in. And so what you're looking at here, and yes, I'll zoom in, on your left are the Amano shrimp. And now I can tell why people go crazy about these because they are so much larger than the Neocaridinas. But what's on your right is a Neo, and it's the orange Rili. And I think they're adorable in their colors. So let's zoom in, and then I just want to briefly go over how the orders have been. I'm going to give you guys a look. They're all kind of clustered together there. But yeah, these are really cool. They kind of have like a bluish green tint with black on it. I mean, it's really a cool color. And let's back out. And I don't know how shrimp like mate, but 2 of them are kind of connected right now. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm not sure they are going to mate while, you know, in transport like that because they've just been put in. They've been in these tubs now. See if I can get these guys to move around. These guys dart like crazy. Oh, and now I messed up the water for you. I love these, the orange Rili. I mean, they're just adorable. Now, I'm choosing to put the orange Rili into bird on a wire because it has a lot of pink in there, and I think the pink and the orange will be really pretty together. And then the Rili, I'm putting them into Garden of Eden because they're a much larger shrimp, and Garden of Eden has always had a much bigger problem with the biofilm than the other tanks. It's because the The hardscape is a lot thicker. And so it's always been much worse on that. Now, this order, now remember, I got both of my orders off Amazon. This order was, let me confirm, was SF Aquatic Store. And now I will put a box down into the video feed so you'll know exactly where I bought them from and how much I paid for them. These are the most expensive ones. These were $37 an order for 10. Now, all the 4 vendors I use all say they send extra. Bullshit. I'm just going to call bullshit where bullshit is. There were literally, I'm going to show you this from yesterday. I didn't throw it away. Look at that. That's how many were dead in one order that I was supposed to get 20. I got 20 total with 8 of them dead. And then the other order, which were the Snowball, Snowball, I think it was 2. I'm missing 2. So that means they didn't put any in there. Okay, because there was no dead carcass in there. The food that was in there, but there was no dead carcass. There were legit just 8 in that order. Today from SF, we are missing, it's time to put more water in. One of the Amano ship, there was only 9. There's no dead carcass, nothing partially eaten whatsoever. And the Orange Rili, there's only 8. No dead carcass. Their food is still in there. So SF Aquatics has already reached out to me because I've contacted all the vendors. Now the other 2 from yesterday, they've already said yes, they'll send replacements. SF doesn't want to mess with that. They're just going to partially refund 3 shrimp, which I think sucks because I ordered the set that I needed, and a refund on 3 is really not going to, help us in our situation. We really just wanted our order replaced. So I'm going to think about that going forward when placing another order, because I really don't like that, because they all brag about having 1 or 2 extra in there, and we know that's just not the case. Let me put you on pause while I do another water transfer for these dudes so we can get them in their tank. Okay, so now you're looking up at turtle again, and you can see the snowballs, I swear, they are so animated. Oh my God, I love them. They just they swim all around, all across the tank, and then they'll come back. They go up to the top. They love the roots up here at the very top right. Some of them just kind of go up there and they'll hang out for a little while, and then they'll come back down. And the downside in this tank is there's not really much place for them to hide in turtle, because turtle doesn't have much going on. But where most of them did sleep was in the crevice of the valley of the rock in here. And then also right underneath turtle itself, there's like a gap there, and they were under there as well. So I could see them. I got up during the night because, being a nervous parent and all that, a new parent, you just don't leave your children out here unattended. So I was going back and forth, and they were just like more animated. Now, we have a different story altogether for the ghost shrimp. Oh my gosh, I should have never put ghost shrimp in a tank that I can't find them in, because they are like the most elusive little hiders in the world. So I could see only 3 of them last night. I have been looking today. I found 1 finally. There's nothing floating. There's no carcasses in the, wave maker. And what I did do with this tank, I built this one on purpose for shrimp. So I don't have my little pointer. Let's see. Get my little pointer here. What you can't really tell from the build is all this mounding here. There's hiding places all underneath there. I created all kinds of spaces all inside there. Not a full cave, but plenty of room for there to get in there and hide in there. And where I found 2 of them is they were really sleeping right in the back inside there, like right at the forefront of this opening right here. But the logs aren't buried all the way to the gravel. There's air spaces in there because my plants are not attached. they're just kind of lodged in and wedged in there. So there's a lot of space underneath it. So they're loving that. They're taking full advantage of the fact that they've got, you know, space to moat around in and hide in. And so I saw them. There was one that was feeding in this little area down here, and it was just like kind of, you know, hanging out in that one spot and just, you know, like eating away. Because of course, you know, in this tank, there's tons of stuff for them to eat. I've not cleaned it at all because it's impossible to clean, and they'll do a way better job than I will. So that's why I ordered 20 for this one, and because of their size, I may have to get more. And I don't want to put another breed in there. I want to keep the breeds separate. I want to keep all my colors separate, just in case I want to, when I have any livestock being born, and I want to put them in another tank, I'll keep my colors all separate because I don't want them to go back to their natural coloring, which I've done a lot of research with shrimp keepers, and they talk about, you know, your first birthing, their colors may be similar, but as they keep intermixing, they eventually do go back to their normal color, which is like this, you know, muted brown color. So that covers the, when you're ordering them, what you may really get, arrive at your location versus what they say they're going to ship you. And I'm going to give you a text box on each one of the vendors, what it cost, what the name was, and just for reference, I think it was, because I pulled up some notes today for you guys just for this. The Trinity series tanks legit are 2 months old. And the Tree of Life is exactly 1 month old. So there's the difference in the age of the tank. So the Tree of Life, you know, we had a longer time cycling because we kept having what I thought was really destructive algae outbreak or cyanobacteria, because I did have cyanobacteria, but remember, it killed that nano tank. It really never was in these tanks, but I did have blackbeard. And that's why you guys remember that I put a video out about why I took the lighting that was directly on the tanks off, because the lighting was too intense. And one good rule of thumb is when you want to put your tank together, look at the shrimp you're putting in there, look at the plants you're putting in there, and determine what type of lighting you're really going to need, because you're not going to be able to put lighting on high because you're just inviting in, you know, algae and different blooms that'll pop up just because of the intensity. And some of your plants can't handle the highest intensity. They can only handle maybe mid-range. So you're going to have to, you know, pull it back a little bit. So plan on that in the very beginning because it makes it a lot easier. Okay, and so before I click you guys off and get these guys in their tank, look. See how they just swim around like crazy? I'm so glad I put the snowballs up there in the middle, because you can see them so easy when they're swimming around in there, which is why I went for something that had, they're the closest thing I could find to white. And they really are great, but the photo online, it didn't show them as white as they are. And they do still have kind of a tad bit of a bluish tint to it, but they really are more white than anything else. So I hope that helps. Whenever I get these guys acclimated and put them into the tanks, I'll give you an update right then. Okay, if you guys are ready, it is time for the Amano. And these dudes are hopping. I mean, really hopping. No. Ooh, they're fast. Fast, fast, fast. Oh, see the coloring there? Just a tinge of blue. Cool, isn't it? Come on. Don't stay. There you go. Now, this is the only of the Trinities that still has its wave maker in it. I'm wondering if these are, because they're so much bigger, that it might be okay to leave the wave maker in there for them. Okay. I'd at least get 2. Yep. No, look how they're fighting. I'm going to have to turn it off. Okay. We don't want to torture them. Oh my gosh. There we go. There, they'll like that better. These are jumpers. They did not want to go in. They're like, nope, no thank you. I think I'll stay. I think I'll stay in the little bow. Boop. Come on. No, I'm not going to go in there like that. Oh, come on, you guys. There we go. Okay. Get in there. They just jump right out on their own. I love that. Here, let's get that out of there. Okay, I see my plants came out. I see the snake. Snake is doing very well. Normally I can get the snake to kind of wedge itself at the top. I can do that. It's cool when it does. It's just getting so waterlogged. Okay, so where did they go? Wow, look at this one root. That one root that's really, really long there from the monstera. Well, if they're doing what they did in the bowl, is they all hover together. And they could be under there's like a little crevice behind all the rocks. And I did that on purpose so that the shrimp would have a place to hide when they were in here. But yeah, it looks like they're gonna stay hidden. So we'll give that a little while, get them to get used to their little surroundings. At least we know they're in there. Now, let's go to bird. So I missed the water action, so I'm going to have to might have to find another. I had a hard time finding wave makers for 10 gallon. Okay, these are the orange Rili. Come on. Okay, seriously. There you go. They should all be in there. There's one and all the rest. Okay. All right. Here comes one up on the front, exploring 2. Now remember on the orange, we have 8. And remember, this is the company that will not be replacing them. They just gave a partial credit. So on the orange, we're missing 2, and the Amano, they were just missing 1. I want you guys to look at the root structure. Here's my pointer. Okay. No, I just had it. Oh, here it is. So now you know why pothos is so popular. Its root structure starts at the top here, and look, it has gone all the way down to the rock level. And it's a massive amount of roots there. I don't have any off the croton yet. Those are still the original ones. But the pepermonia back here, these roots aren't growing, but it's sprouting roots that are actually trying to get into the middle tank because it's sitting across 2 tanks in the back, and they're getting roots there. And the spotted, oh, I can't remember what this is called. Is this maybe a Hoya? It's got a lot of new roots. So some of these are doing very well already. No, I just kind of trimmed their original roots back, but you can see the new growth because it's completely white, which I love that because every time you see a really healthy house plant growing in there, you see these vibrant white roots in there that you just know are doing all that filtering for the water that it needs to do. So they're all on the back side. Yeah, there's plenty of places to hide. Now they're on a rock. I love the fact that they've got just enough of the pinkish. It looks more pink than orange, but they're going to look amazing, I think, with the, I think it's the Rosenvig. And okay, so what I did do is, since we've got the shrimp in there now, I went up to lighting stage number 3. It was always at a 2. Once we had all the algae outbreaks, I went to I brought back up to a 3, and then I put it at, I think it's at a 12-hour setting. I think that was my next setting level, was a 12 on this one. So I'm going to give it a chance to see if we can get, now that we have the shrimp in there that can take care of our algae issues, if we can have some better growth out of our plants in there. Of course, now in this one, you've got really good growth. I mean, look, the Boos, this is the Leylina, and I've said it before, I love Boos. Boos has such a beautiful, darker, emeraldy green coloring underneath the water compared to Anubias. This is the golden though, so its leaves are supposed to be the lighter green. So that's why there's a contrast on the bird that has its tail feathers sticking up. And then these, when the new leaves comes out, we should see some more of the pink. It's kind of been standstill. I think it liked the heavy lighting, and then it just kind of held its own. They did get a little bigger, but they're as vibrant as they were. I'll have to look back, but I think that was a plant that needed, it could take high lighting. And now everything's just going to have to equalize itself out because we're just using lighting that's up above the tanks and not attached to the tanks. When we go to Turtle doesn't have much action going on. You know, one of my most popular video out there is where I'm growing dwarf hairgrass in a tub, and I did a post script on it for the video about a week ago because I get lots of comments on it, and I've been very disappointed because dwarf hairgrass apparently needs much higher lighting. Most of my dwarf hairgrass, if you guys remember when this plant was filled in, this was covered. This should have been filled in within ease. I had so much in there. It does not do well in the aqua soil. It's round, it rolls, it dislodges super easy. It really is a heavy root feeder, and so if you don't keep root tabs in there, you're not going to get any level of growth. That's why in the tub it had a massive amount of root tabs, highlighting for 12 hours a day. And the lighting was right on top of it. So yeah, I had algae outbreaks, but it wasn't that big of a deal because, you know, I could just skim it off the top of the water. In here, it's all completely just nothing. It's doing nothing. So I am trying to investigate what I want to put in there as a replacement. And I want to do something, again, that goes from turtle into bird. Remember, these are supposed to be tied together. That's why their substrate is very similar. That's why you see the arch from here. Oh, wait a minute, you can't even see what I'm doing. The arch, really, okay, so the arch starts here, and it comes here, and it goes here, and it goes down, and it touches this one, and then it goes back up again. That's the whole point with having these 3 tanks side by side like this. So I need a new ground cover for here because I don't like the look now of the substrate because it's all one note. I want something that's going to, you know, stand out. I've got more color in Bird on a Wire, so I'm okay with that. And I love how the boost is really filling in nicely on the limb. Now we don't have that option here in Turtle because Turtle only had this one little section up here that was cut out that I was able to put golden inside there, and then Nana Petite, wait a minute, white, I think that's white. And then a little tiny sprig right there, which hasn't really done anything yet. But then when we get over here to Garden of Eden, I was supposed to have more Rosavig in here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and it's all gone. It just kind of like the Blackbeard and the Allergit was in there, just kind of got it. But look, even this is one Leilina that I had left over, and I put it right there. Even here, it's doing very well. So the boost is doing very, very well. And in here, we have Pinto. Pinto is all through here. So I'm trying to get that all to come out alive. And then you have Golden at the top. So Golden is the tie-in between all three tanks. Golden is in here, here, and then Golden is down there. So they're all trying to mirror each other in some way. And let's see, do you see? Yes, there they are. Now that's one thing that's nice. So when you're looking at these, remember this is a 10-gallon tank. Look at the difference in size. So if you're wanting something that's going to stick out more, your Amano shrimp is really a better option if you want to be able to see them. Because these you can see really well, even though they're similar coloring. They're clearish, but they have some, you know, dark charcoal or black in them. But you can see them a lot better than you can the really, really tiny shrimps in the other tanks, or definitely compared to the ghost shrimp, which I could show you right now. You can't see anything. You just can't see anything in there. So that's kind of unfortunate. I may have to get a different shrimp for there because I do want to be able to see them. So I'm going to put together some text boxes for you so you guys can see everything that we've done. You'll know what I paid for it, which now brings up the cost of these tanks to, I think, $150 each. And this one's less because remember, we did not spend hardly anything on our plants. And we got the tank on sale. We got all of our tanks on sale anyway. But so I'll put that together and then I'll get this edited and released out for you guys to be able to see it. And it gives you a real world example of what you'll do whenever you get your shrimp in. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you on the next build.